Okay, if you're a real estate leader, I bet you've felt this lately. The market starts to slow down a little, the commission checks aren't quite as big, and this quiet anxiety starts to creep into your team. It's more than just a sales slump, isn't it? It's really a crisis of motivation. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today. How to get past that commission anxiety and light that fire under your team again. So let's just ask the big question right up front. Why is your team losing its fire? You see the signs, right? The energy in the meetings is a little lower. There's some disengagement. You might even hear agents wondering out loud if this whole business is even worth the grind anymore. I'm telling you, this isn't just about a tough market. It's something way deeper. And that gets us to the real heart of the issue, what we're calling commission anxiety. See, it's not just the lack of sales that's got your people rattled. It's the fear that comes with it. And fear is the ultimate motivation killer. Now, what's really interesting is how this fear actually shows up day to day. It's not always some big dramatic meltdown. No, it's the agent who suddenly stops coming to the morning huddles. It's that low energy you can literally feel in the office. It's those quiet hallway conversations where people start wondering if they should just go get a quote-unquote stable job. That, right there, is commission anxiety in action. So what do we do about it? How do we fight this thing? The easy, conventional answer is always more money, isn't it? Just dangle a bigger check. But here's the truth, money is not enough. In fact, it never really was. We've got to start looking beyond the dollar sign.
And here's why. If an agent is only motivated by that next paycheck, they will, inevitably, hit a financial wall. For some people, that wall might be at $150,000 a year. For others, maybe it's $250,000. Honestly, the number doesn't matter. What matters is that money, all by itself, has a ceiling as a motivator.
And to break through that ceiling, you and your agents have got to discover the real why. This is the absolute core of it all, the true, sustainable, unstoppable source of motivation. It's not a number in a bank account. It's an emotion. It's that deep, personal reason to get up and fight every single day.
Let me give you a perfect example. We had an agent who said her goal was $150K to live comfortably. Okay, fine. But when we dug a little deeper, this was the real story. It was never about comfort. It was about providing stability for her kids after a divorce. It was about making sure their lives didn't have to shrink just because their family did. Now that is a reason to pick up the phone and make another call.
Or how about this one? An agent said she wanted to implement better systems to be more productive. Sounds good, right? But what she really wanted was to earn enough so her husband, a diving coach getting older and working out in the brutal Arizona heat, could finally get a job indoors with AC. Or maybe even retire altogether. You see, her why wasn't about efficiency. It was about love. It was about taking care of her partner.
And this story from Christy Buck, a team leader, just illustrates the point so powerfully. She felt stuck at a $250,000 ceiling for years. The real reason she had to break through, it's right here. She needed to know, deep in her soul, that she could provide for her two boys all on her own, no matter what happened. That kind of motivation, no market shift in the world can touch that.
Okay, so finding that emotional why is the rocket fuel. But, rocket fuel is pretty useless without an engine to put it in. So the next step is connecting that powerful emotion to the daily, practical, and sometimes tedious, activities that actually create success in real estate.
And this is where you as a leader can completely redefine your one-on-one meetings. Stop thinking about them as accountability check-ins. They're not. They are clarity sessions. This is your chance to pull out their business plan, to look at that vision board on the wall, and connect all the dots back to their why. You ask, hey, is getting your husband out of the heat still important to you? Okay, awesome. Let's look at the activities that are going to get us there.
Because here's the thing about fear, it absolutely feeds on inaction. The number one antidote to anxiety is movement. And I don't just mean being busy for the sake of being busy. I'm talking about intentional, productive activity. This was proven perfectly by a coach down in South Carolina. Her team's sales were down, and they felt like they were working just as hard, but their anxiety was through the roof. Well, the data showed they simply weren't doing enough activity for the new market reality. The second they increased their calls, appointments, and sales surged. Movement works. Now, individual motivation is fantastic, but it really thrives in the right environment. This can't just be a series of private one-on-one conversations. This has to be baked into your team's DNA. It has to become your culture.
So what does that look and feel like? Your office should be a place people actually want to come to. It should buzz with purpose and energy. You should be hearing high fives for small wins. You should hear laughter during script practice, and just this general shared feeling of progress and people helping each other out. It needs to be an environment of support, not an environment of fear.
And here is what it absolutely should not feel like: a waiting room at the DMV. You know that vibe, right? It's totally silent, it's sterile, everyone is just staring at their phones, waiting for their number to be called. If your office feels like that, you don't just have a sales problem, you have a major energy problem.
A positive culture also lets you completely reframe this whole idea of accountability. We gotta rethink that word. The old way is this top-down interrogation. Why aren't you hitting your numbers? It's so accusatory. The new way is a partnership. It's a gentle, supportive reminder. Hey, didn't you say this was really important to you? See the difference? It's about helping them keep the promises they made to themselves.
A great daily huddle is really where this culture comes to life. You gotta celebrate every single win. I don't care how small, even just setting an appointment. Make role-playing scripts a normal, comfortable, everyday activity. And this is crucial. Keep the focus on activity, the stuff they can control, not just the results. And for goodness sake, find ways to make it fun again. Bring in a spinning prize wheel, use gift cards, make prospecting feel like a game.
So, we've covered the agent's why, and we've covered the team's culture. But there's one final, absolutely critical piece to this puzzle. And that piece is you. Your leadership model is the linchpin that holds this entire thing together. Look, the strongest leaders don't just talk about it, they live it. If you want your team to prospect, they need to see you in the trenches prospecting. If you want them to role play, you better be in there role playing right alongside them. You have to be willing to roll up your own sleeves and get uncomfortable, showing them what it really looks like to lead with both discipline and a whole lot of heart. So let's just boil this all down into a super simple 3-step action plan you can start using today. Number 1, find their real emotional why. Go deeper than the money. Number 2, create absolute clarity by connecting that why to specific, daily, productive activities. And number 3, reverse engineer the plan. Show them exactly how many calls and how many appointments it takes to make that dream a reality.
And that brings us right to our final thought. At the end of the day, your team doesn't need another motivational poster or some rah-rah speech. They need a model. Because in leadership, especially when the market gets tough, people will always follow what you model, not just what you preach. The power to reignite your team's fire, it starts with you.